we've talked about the absurdity of all of this, but we're starting to get political data in on it, and it's not great. Not great. Here's the YouGov Economist poll on the ICE shooting dated, it was taken over January 9th through the 12th. Did you see any of these videos of the shooting of this woman? 69%, yes, I've seen it. Based on what you know, was the shooting justified? 30% justified, 50 not justified, 20 not sure. Is ICE making Americans more or less safe? 34% say less safe, 47% say less safe. ICE is making us less safe. And 34% say they're making us more safe. Would you support or oppose abolishing ICE? Support 46%. Just 4 points short of 50 say we want to abolish ICE. Oppose 43%. I mean, that's just not good. A survey they had done just the day before asked, do you think ICE should face criminal charges, the agent for that shooting? 53% say yes. Just 30% say no. And now here's Harry Enton on CNN here in SOT 31.
Look at where we are today. We're talking about a negative 17-point approval rating. That is a 17-point drop from where we were during Trump's first term. Look at this. 51%. 51% of Americans say that ICE enforcement in cities is making those cities less safe. His net approval rating, according to our CNN polling, was at plus 3 points on the positive side of the ledger. But look at where it is now. It is way underwater at 16 points on the negative side of the equation. That is a 19-point drop in less than a year's time. The bottom line is this. ICE and Trump are losing the argument when it comes to the American people. They don't like this immigration enforcement, and it is costing Trump political points at this time. Caitlin.
One more piece of data, Adam. Dave Wasserman just tweeted out that the new Cook Political House rating, where they take a look at all the races coming up in the midterm, has just changed. 18 races have moved in Dems' direction, including 4 key races, which have been moved from lean Republican to toss-up. Now, this could be directly related to what we're seeing in Minnesota and the propaganda being pushed by the mainstream on it. Could be related to Venezuela, where some 57% say they're unhappy with the decision to, quote, run Venezuela. So I don't want to blame it all on what's happening with ICE. But it does look like I call it disinformation that's being put out by the media around this ICE shooting may possibly be having an effect. I don't know. To what do you attribute the fall in support for Trump on immigration, which was positive, as Harry Enton points out, in March, and now is 16 points underwater? That's a 19-point swing down into the negative, and those numbers from YouGov on people's views of this shooting.
Well, obviously, as previously discussed on this show and every show we ever do, the slant with the media. You know, if you'd gone to Minnesota 5 years ago and you asked how many unarmed black men were shot nationally by police officers, they would go, I don't know, 50,000 a year. And you'd go, no, maybe between 6 and 9 or 13 or nothing. You know what I mean?
That's right.
And so that's exactly right. If you stop the average American 5 years ago and said how many unarmed black men are shot by the policemen every year in this country, the average number would probably be 8,000. And the real number would be 8. So who's doing that? So why does the average citizen think it's 8,000 when it's actually 8? They weren't born with that information. They didn't come up with it on their own. CNN poisoned their brain to make them think that we lived in a racist country with rogue cops who shoot black people for no reason. So they're capable of creating this. And then if you said to that same person, would you like less police or more police? They would go less police because I don't want any more innocent black men shot. So that's the human condition, sadly. And that's why CNN and the New York Times and everything drives these things. And they're effective, obviously, because that's what's happening. As far as, you know, they want to stop the chaos. You know, Mayor Fry wants to stop the chaos. Tim Walz wants to stop the chaos. Gavin Newsom. Everyone wants to stop the chaos. Well, then sit your fat ass at home and stop going out and wrestling with ICE officers if you'd like to stop the chaos. So what they do is they create the chaos, and then they go, don't you want the chaos to stop? another sort of feminine attribute. Every argument I've ever been in with a woman, at some point they'd go, I don't want any of this. And I'd go, well, but you're doing it. You're creating the chaos. You know how many women I've seen go after other women, and then at some point they're in the room crying, going, I didn't ask for any of this. And it's like, yes, you created this. You created this. If you don't want it, you can stay at home. You can not send the tweet, not send the text, not make the phone. There's a way to avoid this. So what they do, it's kind of shrewd. They go out and create tons of chaos. The average citizen wants no chaos. I have boy-girl twins. When they were young, my daughter caused a lot of chaos, and my son caused almost no chaos. And what I wanted as a parent is no chaos. So what would happen is my daughter would call the front seat when we drove out to the beach. You go, I'm going in the front seat, and the boy can ride in the back of the car. I say, okay. Then we go to the beach. Then we'd be going home, and my daughter would go, I get the front seat again. And I'd go, that's not fair. And then she'd go, but I want the front seat. And my son would go, but you had the front seat on the way in. That's not fair. And then she would have a tantrum. And then I would turn to my son and go, just get in the back seat, because I don't want to deal with this. But whose fault is this? You know what I mean? It's like, I don't want the chaos. My son doesn't want the chaos. And at a certain point, you vote to end the chaos. They're super smart this way. It's intentional. They just create all of this, and then they yell, don't you want it to end? And every dumb shit mayor of every one of these blue cities goes, we just want the chaos to end. You are the chaos.
This is all also so well funded by Democrat groups.
Yes.
Like it's completely astroturfed, and it's for these reasons exactly, to try to turn around Trump's numbers on immigration. People are still totally in favor of our closed border. The deportation effort that's underway has always been a little tighter, and now it's going into the negative territory because of these scenes in Minneapolis, which are being created for exactly this reason. Look, they were terrible. The polls were terrible on police and the crackdowns on, bad guys in the streets committing crimes after George Floyd, and then they totally reversed. But it took a couple of years, and we don't have a couple of years until midterms. So Trump's got an interesting question to ask himself, because today he's saying, if you don't start behaving in Minneapolis and stop impeding law enforcement, I'm going to declare that it's time to use the Insurrection Act and send in federal, National Guards to protect these ICE agents. And, shit's going to start to get even more real. So we'll see. A new year means new financial goals, like making sure your savings are secure and diversified. Will this be the year you decide to talk to someone from Birch Gold Group? They use an educational approach with a deep understanding of macroeconomics. There are forces pushing the dollar lower right now and gold higher, which is why they believe every American should own physical gold. So until January 30th, if you are a first-time gold buyer, Birch Gold is offering a rebate of up to $10,000 on qualifying purchases. To claim eligibility and start the process, just text MK to 989898. Birch Gold can help you roll an existing IRA or 401k into an IRA in gold, and you are still eligible for a rebate of up to $10,000. Consider making right now your first time to buy gold and take advantage of a rebate of up to $10,000 when you buy by January 30th. Text MK to the number 989898 and claim your eligibility today. Again, just text MK to the number 989898 to check it out. Thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.